Hi everyone, and welcome to a new episode of Day's Podcast along with a new video. I want to thank you guys so much for liking, subscribing, viewing, watching, and listening. I truly appreciate it. We will be talking about more content as we go that will be free, along with exclusives on Spotify and Patreon. I will be doing more story times along with also different topics, all different topics as we go. So today we are going to talk about Queen by Nicki Minaj. Queen is the fourth studio album by Trinidadian rapper Nicki Minaj. It was released on August 10th, 2018 by Young Money Entertainment, Cash Money Records, and Republic Records. Recording sessions with a handful of producers for the album began in late 2016 and concluded in August 2018. So speaking on based from the Pink Print, this was an album that was starting to be worked on pretty much after the sense of the Pink Print ending. It just kind of just went right to it. But it took a little bit more time because as far as when the Pink Print came out, it was December 2014. So this was going on almost 4 years. But the recording sessions was in a matter of 2. So let's continue. The album includes guest appearances by rappers Eminem, Foxy Brown, Future, Sway Lee, and Lil Wayne, along with singers Ariana Grande, Labyrinth, and The Weeknd. Queen's release date was pushed back twice before ultimately being released a week ahead of schedule. The album was supported by 4 singles: Chun-Li, Bad featuring Ariana Grande, Barbie Dreams, and a remix of Good Form featuring Lil Wayne. Fifi with 6ix9ine and Murder Beats was added to the streaming editions of the album in the week following its release. Both Chun-Li and Fifi peaked within the top 10 of the U.S. Billboard Hot 100. To promote the album, Minaj launched her live radio program, Queen Radio, which aired on Beats One, and eventually embarked on the Nicki World Tour with Juice WRLD in February 2019. Queen received generally positive reviews from music critics upon its release, who complimented the album's production but criticized its length and lack of direction. The album debuted at number 2 on the U.S. Billboard 200 with 185,000 album equivalent units, of which 78,000 came from pure album sales. It charted within the top 10 in other countries, including Australia, Canada, Netherlands, Ireland, New Zealand, Norway, Switzerland, and the United Kingdom. The album was certified platinum by the Recording Academy in January 2019. The singles: Chun-Li released April 12, 2018, Bad released June 14, 2018, Barbie Dreams August 14, 2018, and then Good Form November 29th, 2018. In an October 2016 interview following the release of her third studio album, The Pink Print, and the completion of the Pink Print tour in August 2015, Minaj was asked for details on her upcoming 4th album, responding, "The album is so freaking epic, but it's a journey, right? Before my first album came out, I was on everybody's song. I had my own campaign without realizing it. Right now I have to complete a few things for other people." During subsequent interviews, Minaj claimed her 4th studio album would be her best body of work and a classic hip-hop album that people will never forget, as well as signifying an era of her career 1,000,000,000 times more epic than anything Anaconda could have delivered. Let's see here. As far as with the release, she said on May 7, 2018, during an interview at the Met Gala, Minaj announced the album's title and original release date, which was then delayed. It was initially scheduled for a June 15th release, but was later pushed back to August 10th and then to August 17th, before ultimately being released a week ahead of schedule. As far as Queen Radio, she was on Queen Radio as far as on August 9th, right before the album came out. and the most recent show aired on February 10th, 2020, before the pandemic. And from then since, she has done her own live streams, however, and everyone has their own right to be able to speak where and when and how. I will say that. Let's see. Yeah, she made a few appearances. On August 20th, 2018, she performed a medley of Majesty, Barbie Dreams, Ganja Burn, and Fifi live from the Path World Trade Center station at the MTV Video Music Awards in 2018. She performed her song Good Form and Woman Like Me with Little Mix in Spain for the MTV Europe Music Awards in 2018. And she was also at the People's Choice Awards as well. And that's where it had won the fan voted award for the album of 2018. Okay. Merchandise and tour bundles were sold with the album. Further promotion included a co-headlining tour, Nicki Hendrix tour with American rapper Future. However, it was announced on December 21st, 2018 that Future was no longer part of the tour, and Minaj would tour with late American rapper Juice WRLD instead. Yep, and it was in Europe. Yeah. Okay, so let's look at the track list. Well, actually, yeah, Queen was met with generally positive reviews from critics who praised its production but derided the length of the album and the general lack of direction. At Metacritic, which assigns a normalized rating of 100 to reviews from mainstream publications, the album received an average score of 70 based on 22 reviews. So, even though they had said that they liked the production, they didn't really care for as much of the songs and where they were going. Despite not as many reviews, because there was a little bit more reviews for the Pink Print that gave the same score. So with less reviews with the same score, I feel like with those with higher expectations would feel like that's good but could be better, if we're all the way real. Those that feel as though, like, she's back, I'm happy, they felt like this was great. But those that felt like, that they wanted more, this is why. In a positive review, Ella Way of The Independent wrote that Queen is the most important album of Minaj's career so far. It's the first time in her career that she has faced real opposition, and this latest record suggests that competition brings out the best in her. It may lack cohesion at certain points, but one thing is never in doubt: Minaj is still one of the best in her field. And I can relate to this because, like I said, and you guys can go back to my Pink Friday commentary, where there wasn't enough female rappers that were able to do as much at the time as she was able to. Like, yes, you will hear people say there was a drought and all that, but when you talk about who was able to do this, like who was able to do what she was able to do along, not to say alongside, but I'm saying, like, were there other people that were able to just be like, as she's growing and being herself, who else is there able to, and a lot of people, they take the negative route where it's like, well, they're not as talented enough, or they didn't write enough, or they didn't do enough. It's like, but if they were able to, would you have this same perception? And I think that's important because it's not just in rap, it's all genres. There's a lot of artists, country, in jazz, or in even in gospel. Like, there's just different genres that a lot of people don't get to be able to have the chance or enough exposure or enough to do that, you know, these artists that we know and may love are able to do. So I just want to make sure that's clear when it comes to that I am a very fair and unbiased comment, just person that is just looking at, you know, information and things like that. Like I don't like to do the one-sided thing. I like to just keep it very, very much balanced here. But yes, let's look at the track list. So actually no, hold on. The album debuted behind Astroworld by American rapper Travis Scott, which was spending its second week on top. The album dropped one place to number 3 in its second week, earning an additional 95,000 album equivalent units. The album dropped to onto the number 5 position on the Billboard chart in the third week, moving 64,000 equivalent units. In its fourth week, Queen slipped from the number 5 to number 7 position on the Billboard charts, moving 47,000 equivalent units. In January 2019, Queen was certified platinum by the Recording Academy for 1 million equivalent units in the US. Yes. Queen is also Minaj's highest peaking album in France and Germany, which debuted at number 7 and 18 respectively. But, you know, just to kind of resonate with from album to album here, where she had her first album debuted at number 2 to go to number 1 over time. Her second album went number 1. And then her third album went number 2. Of course, there was Taylor, you know, right there. And then here we have her going number 2 again, where there's Travis Scott. So, I will say that, and I have said in previous videos, for R&B artists, and even maybe a few rap artists too, where releases sometimes can play a part in the sense of where the album can be listened and how. And even just speaking back from just the 90s, where people released at certain, you know, seasons or times of those seasons. And you would think, okay, well, you know, this is the fall. People are going to listen more. And it's like, well, if someone else that's a little bit more popular going on, they may not chart as high, especially if it's, you know, in a genre that's, you know, a kind of like, I like it, but next one, like, you know, it be like that. So, I will say that as far as for just the sake of just a 4-album run from where we are right now so far, it is good that she has been in the top 5. It is. Let's see. Here's the track list. So track 1 is Ganja Burn. Track 2 is Majesty with Labyrinth featuring Eminem. Track 3 is Barbie Dreams. Track 4 is Rich Sax featuring Lil Wayne. Track 5 is Hard White. So by the time you get to Hard White, there's a lot that is going on. Okay? There's a lot that's going on. There's a lot that is, you know, being said here. And, you know, looking from her past work and going forward from where she is here and even recently, this is the album where she's not really holding much back on what she's saying or what she's feeling. There are, you know, a lot of things that are being said where people are kind of like looking like, wait, is she saying this and meaning this? And, you know, you're looking and it's like, yeah, she's saying that. And so, this is, you know, the start of where she was able to know, I'm not the only one out here anymore. And that's okay. No, really, that's what that was okay. It had to happen at some point, and in all in good reason. You know, how do you think that the people that support Taylor feel when they have someone like Sabrina Carpenter coming out the cut? You know, it's just, you know, it's just there's new people. There's people out there. There's people that need to be able to be out there. You know, it can't just be just one person. Everybody got to have their shine. Everybody got to be great. Okay? But I just want to make sure on a fair note that yes, there's a lot that was going on in these lyrics that was letting people know she not happy. She ready to let people know even in the future that she ready to say whatever she want to say when she want to say it. And I'll give her that right. As far as track 6, there's Bed featuring Ariana Grande. Track 7, Thought I Knew You featuring The Weeknd. Track 8, Running High. Track 9, Chun Sway featuring Sway Lee, sorry. And then there's track 10, which is Chun Li. So there's a little bit more experimental going on here, like in a good way, because I was able to listen to Queen maybe like twice at the time, and then kind of just sat and was kind of dissecting what was heard here. But yes, track 11 is LLC, track 12 is Good Form, track 13 is Nip Tuck, track 14, Too Little Too Late, Interlude, track 15, Come See About Me. So, there was, I think track 15, Come See About Me is a little sad. Or track 14, Too Little Too Late is a little sad. One of them is a little sad, but, besides Good Form, Nip Tuck, LLC, those are more or less, you know, her speaking her shit, you know, just, you know, letting people know, you know, I'm Nicki, and, you know, and what people like about me, okay? And all female rappers deserve and should do that. Everybody, okay? Track 16, Sir featuring Future. Track 17, Miami. Track 18, Coco Chanel featuring Foxy Brown. So I heard Coco Chanel, and it was just a little different hearing Foxy. It was a little different to just hear them both collaborate, because we never really had her here. We never really heard her with a female rapper as much at this time. And also, you know, a female rapper that was from, you know, a time that I was growing up. You know, I may have been very, very young, but I remember a time there was just a few female rappers that was out and about and just get into my album, okay? So, including Foxy. So, as far as, you know, the song, you know, I think that, you know, it was a song that I know they wanted to possibly do for a while, because Foxy supports Nicki as Nicki supports Foxy. So, track 19, Inspirations, outro. So I believe that was a continuation from Coco Chanel. And I think that people felt like that was like a way to kind of, you know, close the curtain for the album, if you will. And not a bad sense, you know. It gave people an understanding that, you know, she a woman now, like she grown. Because when she started out, I think she was in her mid to late 20s. Yeah. So it was just in the matter of just like her being in her 30s and going towards her 40s, and, you know, understanding like, hey, you know, I'm still here, okay? So Queen revised digital edition bonus track Fifi, which was track 26-9 featuring Nicki Minaj and Murder Beats. Queen digital edition bonus track 20, Good Form featuring Lil Wayne. And then there was Queen Target and Japanese edition bonus tracks. 20 is Barbie Tings, and then 21 is Regular Degular. I didn't hear Regular Degular, but as far as for Barbie Tings, I know that may have had a video, but it wasn't like on the album. But yeah, you guys, that's pretty much the most that really was going on with Queen. And as far as the album, I believe it, you know, it's a good album as far as for just from her transitioning from Pink Print to Queen, and also getting people more familiar with the fact of just the you know, the sense that she now has 4 albums, you know, and that, you know, she has to prepare for album 5. And I believe from this point, she had her son and is married, and you know, and she then released Pink Friday 2, which had a single which went number 1. We will talk about Pink Friday 2. I'm just giving clarity here from this album to that album. But just for the 2018 to 2023, you know, that 5-year span, there was a lot that did happen with her. And that she still was looking to make more music and wanted to make something for her fans and to still see her fans live and go on the road. And, you know, we'll see what will happen from here with her. But I thank you guys so much for listening and watching. I truly appreciate it, and I'll be back with more.